Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Kpop.
10 from
NCT's 10th manager under fire. Fans demand action after aggressive behavior.
NCT and Wavy is trending, but not for his performance. His female manager is facing heavy criticism after her behavior at a recent fan sign event in Thailand. During the high touch session, multiple fans reported being physically handled by the manager. Clips from the event show her grabbing fans' hands, pushing them forward, and being overly aggressive, even though fans say they followed all the rules. One fan shared, "I'm the one who got pushed. I didn't stop in front of 10. I followed the rules. What right do you have to touch and drag me without consent? So rude." Another wrote, "10's manager had no right to shove fans like that. They weren't crossing any lines. That's just disrespectful and aggressive." Thai fans were
But
especially
if a fan was to get access to 10.
Then y'all dragging, oh, they need a new management, new security, everything.
Yeah,
She
and-
did her job.
And saying that, where is his protection?
Yeah, she did her job. That's her job.
I feel like it got a little bit robotic. I can see like she got, kind of used to, okay, keep
That's
moving
just the
along,
motion.
moving
Yeah,
along,
keep
moving
on,
along.
keep on. Let's go, let's go.
Yeah,
You're too
but-
long here, go.
I can understand that feeling when you feel like you're following the rules, but you don't want someone to violate your personal space. Everyone seemed like they were moving. It's just, she wanted to keep that flow, keep that energy, and when you see nothing wrong is happening, you're thinking, okay, you're doing a good job. So let's keep this going. Let's keep that energy moving.
Yeah, as you said, yeah, I see both of the sides, but I don't really see what she did wrong.
upset, explaining that touching someone's arm or body without consent is considered extremely disrespectful in Thai culture. A commenter said, "If SM
Oh, in
wants to
Thai
promote in
culture.
Thailand,
Oh.
they need to understand Thai customs." This was offensive. The backlash didn't stop there. A viral post started exposing the manager's alleged past behavior, including claims that she failed to protect NCT members, was once a hardcore
Exactly. So if she failed to protect and people came for her, she's like, okay, now I'm gonna
Yeah.
protect. I'm gonna do my job. So she's doing that job that you accuse her of not doing.
She probably got
I mean-
she probably got like strikes.
Yeah, like you
This was
can't
probably her last strike.
you can't be like, oh, she's not protecting enough. Oh, she's protecting too much. No.
Yeah, but I get it. It's
Or
like,
K-pop
especially in Thai, the customs, if the customs are different, maybe there's a better way to handle this.
fan herself, and even leaked Wavy's private schedules. These revelations have only added fuel to the fire. Fans are now demanding that SM Entertainment step in and hold the manager accountable. As of now, SM has not released any statement. We'll keep you updated as the story develops.
Accountable for what she ain't doing.
She probably will be moved, like maybe not fired, but she'll probably be moved. Because what's very important also is the customer's experience, because these are the
Hey, everyone.
customers, so the customer experience have to be maintained. So they probably moved her to the back.
Unpopular opinion. Also, she's giving opinions now. NewJeans got ignored, VCHA got abused, guess who got the headlines?
Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a little different. No breaking news, no wild rumors, but just me sharing my personal thoughts on the current state of K-pop. So grab your snacks, get comfy, and let's dive in. Also, quick note before we begin. I've heard your feedback loud and clear. A lot of you mentioned that
If I
subtitles
was
would
to
help
grab
since
my
many of you
snacks, I would hear my chewing and not the talking.
aren't native English speakers.
Depends on the
So
food. I
I'm
guess.
working on improving that. Appreciate the honesty. Alright, today we're talking about double standards in K-pop. Now let me make this clear. This is just my opinion. I'm not presenting facts like a courtroom lawyer. So if you disagree, that's totally fine. Just don't come for me with pitchforks in the comments. Alright, remember that video I posted yesterday about how SM Entertainment allegedly tried to sabotage BTS during their rookie or Nugu Party days? A lot of you commented things like, well, that's just SM being SM, as if it's completely normal behavior. And I'm sitting here thinking, wait, what? That's like saying, oh, my neighbor steals my Amazon packages. But it's fine. He's always been like that. No, it's
Yeah,
still
that's
wrong.
what I felt
EXO
like.
was
I
huge
felt
back then.
like because it was common practice means it's okay, it's the green light to continue such behavior. And I feel like this is what is toxic, and it is very encouraging of this behavior. I think if someone was to stand up and say, okay, this practice is wrong, then we need to do something to cease the practice.
It's not the good example because stealing Amazon packages is a crime. Trying to convince someone not to
I
vote
feel
is
like
just
it's
not
a
crime. What crime is it?
crime.
What kind of crime
It's
is it?
a crime.
What
First
kind of crime
of
is it?
all,
Why is it a crime?
because, okay, first of all, it's interfering in BTS affairs.
Okay, that's not a crime.
SM has nothing to do with what BTS have going on.
Okay.
So it's like sabotaging business. It's like if I have a store and I'm trying to have people come to my store, but then you stand outside, don't go there, the food is bad, but you are not
That's
leaving
soliciting.
you're not
different.
leaving a correct review, or you're lying. That's impacting my business. I feel
Okay,
like that goes. What do you mean?
I get what you're saying. I still don't see how that's a crime.
It is a crime. You're telling people falsehoods. You're
It's not
saying
false.
that
It's their opinion. They're telling her their
is
opinion.
he presenting
They
it as an
said-
opinion?
They said,
Because
"Oh,
look,
it's
this
affiliate
guy,
group,"
he's from the States.
right?
He's not from South Korea. So someone from South Korea telling you about what's going on in South Korea, maybe you take it with some weight
Maybe you do, but
because
it's still
you're
not a
an
crime.
outsider.
I get it. I still don't think it's a crime.
I think
It's just-
I
if
think it's a crime.
If it was a
To
crime, then
me,
okay.
it's an
but
offense.
It's
It's a
just
violation.
it's a business tactic. You always try to
I
do whatever you
That's
can
like
to
poaching. That's like
poaching.
poaching.
Yeah, but just poaching is not a crime. It is poaching. That's exactly what it is. It's poaching.
I don't know.
Poaching is not a crime. If it was a crime, businesses wouldn't exist. There would be you. You
Because they
poach
do this. They do
clients.
this. They do this behind the scenes.
Yes.
They don't do it in front.
Of course,
Why they don't do it
because
in the
it's
front?
poaching. It's behind the
Because
scenes.
there's something about it that's just wrong. I think it's wrong.
Like really huge. Bigger than BTS at the time. Instead of focusing on promoting EXO properly, SM allegedly spent energy trying to block BTS's rise. And look where we are now. BTS became global icons, and EXO's momentum faded. Maybe if SM had focused more on their own artists than others,
Exactly.
the K-pop scene
You
would
could
look
never
very
win
different
when you're
today.
nasty.
Now flip the script. When Hive does something, anything, it's on the news 24/7. Remember when people were saying Hive was trying to make the next Blackpink or beat aespa? Suddenly, it was the end of the world. Even Hive's Dirty Laundry got aired like it was a
Yeah,
K-drama
that's-
episode.
That's what I said in that reaction. It's exactly the same thing. Hype did the same thing too. So it's like, what's
Yeah,
wrong?
I know it's not okay for anybody.
But did
I don't
Hive
like
ever
it.
try to lure producers or staff away from SM or YG? No. SM
I mean, don't say no. We don't know that. So you can't say no. Just because we don't know doesn't mean they haven't. And isn't Min Hee-jin from SM anyway?
literally did that. Yet somehow, Hive gets more backlash for less. Make it make sense. Let's talk about JYP and VCHA for a second. VCHA is technically an American group, right? So they're under US labor laws. But K-pop fans were out here saying, well, this is how K-pop works. We're talking about child labor and mistreatment. That's not how K-pop works. That's just wrong, period. But no one made a big deal about it. Meanwhile,
Yeah, we did. We made a big deal about it, but there isn't any news, so we don't talk about it.
I think there's not a big deal made in South Korea because it was filed in the States.
And it's not a South Korean group.
Yeah,
It's American group.
but it's still under JYP.
Yeah, but it's American group though.
But like, look at the commotion that was given to NewJeans when they went to an American public broadcasting airing out the dirty laundry
Yeah,
of
but
South
they
Korea.
went on an
That was
American
met-
broadcast to trash Korea.
Well, that was met with a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
Still, it is kind of, talking bad about South Korea when you're airing out the K-pop systems, like they say, for training, because they would think probably, oh, that's part of your training, that's normal. This is what the industry calls for. But because the girls are base or they have connections to the States, now you're going to have a conflict of what is standard practices. It's going to be the US practices versus the South Korea practices, but you don't hear too much commotion about it.
Because there's no updates. The court was supposed to happen when it happens. They're going through mediation or whatever. They had like the hearing when there's updates. We're gonna hear updates. The thing with NewJeans, there's always something new because they go on this show, they go on that show, they go on CNN, they go on this, and on top of that, there's like 25 court cases, different court cases. So there's always something. That's why we keep talking about it. With VCHA, there's that one case. We talked about it. Then the actual court happened. We talked about it again. Nothing sits, so we don't talk. Same with like NCT Teal, it happened. We talked about when it initially happened, and there was a little update that he's being prosecuted. Okay, cool, but since then it's quiet again. When there's an update, we'll talk again.
I think also all those examples is like individual members from a group.
Fair,
Whereas
that is true.
NewJeans, they're like operating as a unit, which makes it a
Okay.
bigger deal.
Yes, that is true. Also, good point.
NewJeans got ignored in a hallway. And somehow that story made it all the way to the National Assembly. Look, I'm not saying they shouldn't speak up if they feel mistreated, but getting ignored is not exactly a human rights violation. It's like me going to a law firm because my teacher didn't pick me when I raised my hand in class.
What made it to the assembly was the fact that they were accusing the company of harmful practices. So it may be everyone else is ignoring, but they were presenting it in a way that they felt like they were being ostracized in comparison to the counterparts who are operating in that same company. So that's why the assembly got involved, because they're responsible to monitoring business practices. So that's why it made it to their table. Now, when it makes it to their table and they have to read what actually happened, that's unfortunate, because it kind of takes the resources away from other companies who are actually doing harmful practices.
Also, I think, in Korea, this thing is a bigger deal, so it made to the assembly. Here in the States, VCHA's case is nothing. Like, there's way more important issues to deal with. Like a little California child labor case, and nobody gives a fuck about that. Let's be real. That's why
There's not enough like details to make it salacious enough to make it to major news. It was covered by Forbes, which is a big deal. It's a major company, but there's not enough newer details and not enough figures that are associated to the West to make it a big commotion. Like if it was like here, NewJeans is a big group in South Korea. Of course they're gonna make headlines and articles and whatnot, have so much write-ups written about them, because they're a big deal in South Korea. VCHA is still a small up and coming group, early stages.
Right. So, and also, the paces in the States are just, they develop slow. As I said, there's bigger issues, bigger fish to fry. So this case is gonna take years, and that's why there isn't much going on with VCHA. It's just, it's gonna get to whenever it gets to. In Korea, this is a big deal because K-pop is what Korea is known for. This is like their bread and butter. Samsung, their Chaebol, and K-pop. So that's why they're there's some sort of priority there.
Yeah, it does.
And don't even get me
to the
started on the
GDP.
fandom behavior. When NewJeans Hanny cried at the airport, it was all about empathy, mental health. Idols are human too, which I totally agree with. But when Lee Seraphim's Eunchae cried, suddenly it was cringe, and who cares? And guess who was saying that? Yep, the same people preaching empathy. Make it make sense. Eunchae is literally a minor. Crying in public is not a crime. Y'all need to have the same energy for everyone, not just your faves. People also love to say, Hive wants to push NewJeans into the shadows. Why? Because they're too popular. Excuse me, Hive is a company, not a jealous high school student. Their goal is to make money, and NewJeans.
Yeah, I never understood that argument. I don't get it. How does that make sense? That they would want to their cash cow? Oh, let me bench my cash cow. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Is one of their top
Maybe
earners.
you bench your cash cow if you can control your cash cow, because it leaves a bad example to future groups or even current groups, to teach a lesson. Like, you think you're bigger than me, I'm gonna teach you. I made you. I can always make others.
Well, they're teaching that lesson now.
Why would they sabotage that? That's like burning your own paycheck because you're feeling petty. Also, can we talk about how some staff treat fans at events? Fans pay real money, sometimes a lot, to meet idols, and in return, they get treated like criminals, dragged around like it's a
I
police
wonder
raid.
how long.
Can-
Like, I wonder. Okay, what is the cost to meet
now
them?
going back to this video,
to
she's
meet
not
idols,
touching them.
and in return, they get treated like
She's touching the ones that get too close. Because look, she's not touching anybody.
criminals, dragged around like it's a
Because they're
police
not getting
raid.
too close. The people that we saw, they probably got too close.
Yeah, the person who come. Well, you think so?
Yeah,
Wait,
because
let
look,
me
she
see.
didn't touch
Let
not
me
one
see.
person.
Also, can we talk about how some staff treat fans at events? Fans pay real
Okay,
money,
she touched that
sometimes
one.
a lot, to meet idols, and in return, they get treated like criminals, dragged around like it's a police raid.
No, one person got touched because probably got too close. So it's that simple. She was doing her job. She touched whoever got too close. So
We also watching in fast pace, so I don't know how bad this is. But they say in Thai culture, touching
but she
people.
wasn't touching anybody. She touched the
The
people.
one who complained is the one who wrote the tweet. She got touched.
Okay, she got touched. She must have been too close. It wasn't like she was touching everybody.
She said she for following the rules.
Can we not? Sure,
But you
there are
see
some
how
weirdos
this
out
blew
there.
up? It doesn't matter even if she was doing a good job, because this blew up and went viral. I think, ultimately she got to go to the back.
She's not going anywhere. She did a good
No,
job.
not fired, but she's going to go to the
She's
maybe,
staying in the
I don't
front.
know.
She's gonna get
Maybe.
praised for doing a good job.
Probably. Yeah, I would
And security
think
is
so too. It
important.
could go either way.
But for regular fans, just
Depending what
trying to
they
say
value.
hi to their favorite idol, treat them with some basic respect. If you're earning
Why
money
she
from
did
the
all that
fans,
extra stuff?
don't act like they're beneath you.
Oh, she was
Anyway.
doing too much.
Because they stopping. She was trying to keep the line
But
going.
why she kind of like shove it, like go back?
I just wanted to get respect. If you're earning money from the fans, don't act like they're beneath you.
Look.
Anyway,
Douche.
I just wanted to get all this off my chest today. You don't have to.
Yeah, the people that walking by, she's not touching. But there's certain people that's stopping a little bit.
Yeah,
They're slowing
they're
down the
slowing
line. So
down.
she's like, okay, keep it moving. Let's go. She didn't do any. This lady didn't do nothing wrong.
agree with me.
I
I
don't
respect
think so
different
either.
opinions, but I think it's time we have more honest conversations in K-pop.
But it's bad
without
when a tweet blows up, you know.
And also, it's not like she was shoving them. She's just kind of like moving on. It's not like she's like you know giving a full-on shove.
She may
jumping
get
to conclusions
a
or
bump
playing
increase in
favorites.
her pay.
If you made it this far,
She may end up in the back. It really depends what the company feels about her, to how she handled the situation.
a recent report
NewJeans Report Sparks Outrage after NBC shows Mubin, Suli, and Hara. Okay.
by
don't
NBC
understand
News
the title.
has sparked
Me neither.
intense backlash among K-pop fans.
K-pop sensation NewJeans announces indefinite hiatus, stops performing on the record label after legal saga. Oh, I guess they made it to American news.
Not for the reasons you might expect. What was meant to shed light on the ongoing conflict between NewJeans, also known as NJZ, and their agency Adore, has ignited fury for its insensitive and controversial content. Last month, NBC News released a video exploring the ongoing legal and public feud between NewJeans and their agency, Adore. The report discussed a range of issues, from the group's announced hiatus to recent Labour Ministry statements claiming, quote, stars aren't even considered workers. It also touched on legal rulings and public scrutiny of K-pop's intense industry standards. But one part of the video crossed the line for many. In its segment on the darker side of K-pop, the video showed images of Astro's Moonbin, FX, Sully, and Kara's Guhara, all beloved idols who tragically passed away. NBC's line, artists taking their
The headline is the same though.
own lives. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Fans from across the globe accused NBC of sensationalizing tragic deaths for clicks and using these tragedies to push a biased narrative. One fan commented, "What kind of poor journalism?"
Oh.
Everybody does that. Everybody does that.
Whoa. But whoa.
I hate it, but everybody does that.
Whoa.
Nothing pisses me off more than a
Whoa.
clickbait headline.
Wait. So
But
what was the headline?
the headline was, about
It
new
connecting-
jeans, but
it connecting-
they show the people that off themselves. Which
Whoa.
Is, yeah, it's wrong,
That's
but
like-
everybody does it.
That's like ugh.
Is this? Did you do your research? To call NJZ the victim is a joke. Another added, they are the ones actively attacking other colleagues and artists with false
Honestly,
accusations.
I feel like
Do your
that can make NJZ NewJeans situation worse. Like to put them with the tragedies.
I don't know.
job.
Oh.
Report both sides of the case. Many called the use of deceased idols deeply disrespectful, urging media outlets to stop exploiting their memories. The controversy didn't stop with international fans. Korean netizens were just as upset, if not more. On popular
Oof.
Korean forums, users left scathing comments like, "What did K-pop ever do to you, NewJeans? They were a group that should
But
Yeah,
why
they're
are they?
gonna roast them.
Okay, but why are they coming for NewJeans? Come for NBC. It's NBC who did that.
Well, because they went into NBC crying about what's going on in South Korea, and they feel like it's none of
Okay,
these
but this is
outsiders' business.
NewJeans is not who put those pictures up.
Yeah, but it looks bad for
Okay, I'm
gonna
not,
catch
I'm
us
not
straight.
saying it looks
They're
good.
gonna
It
catch us
looks
straight.
bad, but it looks bad for NBC.
It's gonna catch us straight. No, they don't care. They don't care
Oh,
about.
I know
NBC.
NBC doesn't care. NBC doesn't give a fuck
No,
about it.
yeah,
NBC
and-
gonna do what
they don't care.
They don't care
And
about Korea.
also,
But
the people
NC
not
NewJeans
gonna
don't have nothing
care
to do with this.
that NBC did this. They care about NewJeans giving this opportunity. They set this up.
I don't know. At this point, we just want to blame NewJeans for everything. Like they have a lot of shit we can blame them for, but we can't blame them for.
I mean,
Let's have him Yoonchae crying on the stage. Come on.
never have existed." Using the deceased and insulting
it's
a country.
like
this really cost the
okay. So for example, if I tell you something about this person, and then you go tell that to another person, and that person uses that information and makes it known to everybody, of course I'm gonna be mad more at you than the person who is spreading the information, because you put my business out there. No one was supposed to know.
Okay, but NewJeans did not provide them the photos of the deceased idols.
They didn't, but they put they look up on Google. Oh,
K-pop.
K-pop drama.
K-pop, yeah, something
What's
like
going? Yeah,
That's literally that's exactly what they did. It's like K-pop scandals.
yeah.
That's what they looked up. Yeah.
And it's look, they do have a bad system. Look at them.
Oh man, I don't think it's fair to judge NewJeans on this.
It's like when they say, "Oh, is Miami safe? Yes or no?" And they pull up like two situations. They say, "Look, it's very unsafe. It's unsafe, but damn,
It's-
don't use one situation."
Blame NBC, not NewJeans. I disagree.
No,
The line.
no, you blame
And stuff like that
blame the
airs.
person
It
you
won't
know.
just hurt Hive idols, but also idols from other agencies. Some saw it as an attack, not just on NewJeans, but on K-pop as a whole, especially by Western
I
media
can see
with
that.
limited understanding of the culture. What started as a
Yeah.
report on a legal dispute has now become a
Yeah.
conversation about journalistic ethics, respect
Damn,
for the
this is
deceased,
bad for the
and media
girls.
bias. Fans are demanding accountability,
The
not just
bunnies are
from artists
working
and
overtime.
agencies, but from global media too.
Like the manic account for NBC do not give a fuck about your K-pop. Oh my god, keep demanding. Okay.
No, they want clicks and
Bye.
views.
They don't give a fuck
Let me
about
see the
K-pop.
comments in this one. Let me see.
Y'all can stay demanding. That is absolutely disgusting.
It
Seriously, that
is,
people
it
from their own
is.
game can't
Especially when
believe
you
they
don't know
have to
anything.
stop this low. What an insult to the deceased and their family.
Yeah.
The media play is insane. This is crazy.
I
Never
know.
thought I
Sometimes
would
the
do
media is a
something like this.
weird place. It's a weird place.
But everybody does. It's just so.
It's a weird
so annoying. Like
place.
whenever we react to videos, it's nothing worse. Like it's like we do like a reaction about Trump. We want to see Republicans turning on Trump. That's the headline, and then we click on it. It's like nobody's turning on nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fucking headline. Like, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna give him a chance," Stop.
Any more?
Let's see. I don't think so. I think that was the last one. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. I wonder if they're gonna bully NBC to come out with a statement.
You really think NBC gonna give a fuck?
I know, but if the comments
NBC
if the comments are flaming,
NBC can do something wrong here in the States, they're not gonna give a fuck. They do something wrong in Korea, they really don't give a fuck.
I don't know. Guys, I want to know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. As always, share as much kindness as possible.